Hey, hey. All right, we are back. We are back, fresh off the weekend. We had the biggest event of the summer, so-called SummerSlam, taking place this past weekend in Minnesota. Two-night action, first ever two-night action SummerSlam here. Let's get right into it. Let's get our big takeaways from. Let's start with night one, which kicked off on Saturday. We had Liv Morgan retaining her World Heavyweight Championship against Io Sky. We got the boys, I dubbed them, LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys defeating the Bloodline. We had Gunther defeating Nick Aldis, returning Nick Aldis in his in-ring action in that matchup. We had Fatal Influence defeating the Bellas and Paige. We'll talk about the big activity that happened after that once we get to that match. We had Cody Rhodes coming up short against CM Punk. CM Punk retaining his WWE Undisputed Championship against Cody Rhodes, but we got a returning Randy Orton. We'll get into that as well. And then lastly, we had Femi in the rubber match against Brock Lesnar in Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam to main event, defeating him and getting the nod of approval from Brock Lesnar. We'll get our takes on that. But let's start with Sonny here. What are your biggest takeaways from night one of SummerSlam?
I said this last night on Ring Take. Sorry, guys, I'm a little under the weather. On Wrestling Spotlight. Biggest takeaway from the entire show was the amount of people that attended it. I'm just blown away by how the fans just keep growing every time. And I'd like to say that all in all, it was a phenomenal 2 nights, and I think TKO, The Rock, and Triple H are finally starting to work together better, and that's why we're seeing better events and better matches between everybody. It takes time when a new group comes into a formed group to iron out the kinks, and to me, in my eyes, they appear to be doing that. So.
Hopefully they're on the right track. I think it was a better response to this SummerSlam than the past couple events.
Stuff all day trying to get rid of this.
No, it's all right. Biggest takeaway, Brian? Let's go to Brian. What's your biggest takeaway from night one of SummerSlam?
Biggest takeaway from me, you guys can hear me, right?
Yep, you're good.
Yep. All right, so biggest takeaway for me was the return of Randy Orton. It's very great to have a top guy like him back. Like we've said numerous times before, he's at the level right now where he's undeniable. No matter what he does, his legacy is already established. So anytime you get a guy like that back into the fold, it only means great things for your product. And CM Punk and Cody Rhodes had a great, old school sort of match at SummerSlam, but just to have Randy Orton back into the fray, to me was the highlight of night one. One of my biggest takeaways. With Oba and Brock, I mean, we all predicted that Oba was going to come out on top. I don't think we saw the endorsement that Brock Lesnar gave him. We didn't see that coming. But my biggest takeaway again is just the return of Randy Orton, and how SmackDown now has that lift for their main event, for their top of the card now. So great! It's always great to have Randy Orton back.
Yep. Biggest takeaways from night one, Lewis?
I think my biggest takeaway is that I think it's pretty clear that night one is not going to be as good as night two. Not to say that night one was not good. I think there were some matches that let me not even say that, because I actually did really enjoy the 6-man tag, and I'm actually not a big multi-man tag match, and I think for me was that one, LA Knight got the win. Two, you got Solo just eating up the reaction with the crowd and just getting over even more as a babyface right now, and I think that's huge. Exactly, I think that's huge for him, just to elevate him more. Coming from being the silent killer to now to whatever they were doing with the damn MSTs to what he is now, I think is great. Also, to reiterate what Brian said, Randy Orton coming back. It's always great to see Randy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little happy that Cody didn't win. Just really didn't want to see him back with the title again. I hope if they're gonna have another feud, it better not be the shitstorm that was WrestleMania. Let the history speak for itself, which they should have done the first time. Maybe we can get it right a second time. I don't know. And obviously Oba. Oba is just the new monster. He's the new ruler. Sad to see that Brock's retiring. I know there's a lot of people that don't care for him, but I've been a huge Brock fan since, Here Comes the Pain. Like that was that was the new big thing for me back then, and I was so yeah, there was a lot to take away from that one.
Good old PS2 days. My biggest takeaway is that probably the WWE Undisputed Championship match with Randy Orton's return. Obviously, going into the match, we were saying how we thought either CM Punk or Cody Rhodes had to turn heel. Like somebody needed a character change, something needed to happen in this division, and they answered it by bringing in Randy Orton, who's going to be the nemesis of Cody Rhodes and kind of take him away from the title picture, at least for the time being right now. And we'll see what happens when he gets back into there. We're getting to night 2, who Punk's potential next opponent is coming up. But I thought that was a good thing that Randy Orton come back. It fills the void because SmackDown desperately needed something in that main event scene, and they definitely answered it on the whole weekend of SummerSlam, actually, once we get into it. But Randy Orton returning, kind of picking up where he left off from WrestleMania. No Pat McAfee, thank God.
Oh,
no
God.
Pat. We're hopefully we get the right story that we're supposed to get at this point in time, and not get a smaz, and actually get the match that we were supposed to get at WrestleMania and the story that we were supposed to get at WrestleMania as well. I think that would be the most ideal thing. Oba Femi defeating Brock. Brock has come back in this role, and Brock hasn't done a lot of selling for many people, right? Like ever since Suplex City back, I believe is 2014-15, since he came back and faced John Cena. He hasn't done really a lot of selling. He has done a lot of losing and stuff like that, but he's done a lot of winning and stuff. But he's been more giving in this program to Oba Femi, and I think that's my biggest takeaway with everything Brock has done. Even though it was only a 10-minute, 11-minute match in the Hell in a Cell, and nobody fell off the cage, nobody went through a wall or anything like that. But
match didn't even need to be. I think
it was.
Match.
It didn't need to. It didn't need to. But I thought it was effective. I thought it was awesome. Brock paying tribute to the Undertaker. Their Hell in a Cell matchups, multiple. Pulling out the tombstone was a nice touch. And I thought it did a great job of just getting Oba over. And then at the end, when he gave the endorsement of him saying, "Hey, I'm the past. This guy's the future." That was the biggest stamp that Oba could have gotten in this feud. And I thought it was a good way to end that. As for the rest of the card, I'm just going to go over it real quickly. The Bellas turning on Paige after their loss to Fatal Influence. Who didn't see that coming? Who didn't?
Me.
Who didn't see
the
that
moment
coming?
that happened, I literally was like, "Well, duh!" Like I said it just like that. I mean, it was pretty straightforward, but the creative behind it was just so stupid, because when they're attacking Paige, you hear Nikki talking about "Oh, you stole my spot." Bitch, don't you remember you gave it to her at WrestleMania? What are you talking about?
She was hurt. She was hurt. She helped y'all out.
She wasn't supposed to say yes. She wasn't supposed to say
She was supposed to say no. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, exactly.
If she said no, she would have never got
no,
attacked.
I guess.
If she was supposed to say no, she would have never got attacked. Got it. Great logic. I'm just glad Fatal Influence got the win in the end, and now they can go on to bigger and better things. I don't know if this is going to go to the U.S. title with Tiffany Stratton, or is this going to go with the potential WWE Championship? We'll talk about that on night 2. If it's going to go that route. So I'm interested to see where they go. Nick Aldis coming back. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people saying, why not keep him as a wrestler? And maybe this was his way to just get his official last match. He looked good. He looked good.
He looked great. I was very surprised. Not very surprised, but I thought he looked great in the ring. He was on par with Gunther. A little sluggish here, but I mean that's just given for how long he hasn't actually wrestled. But he can go. If they
Yeah,
want to keep him in that role, they should.
yeah. I don't. They instantly gave him back his GM role. I don't know why they did that, but again, I saw people complaining online, and I'm like, maybe that was his legitimate last match, and maybe that's how he wanted to go out, and that's fine. But um, I wouldn't want to close the door on that because
Yeah, no.
his entrance, the music. I think it's a famous group. I think it's in the UK or something like that. But um, he looked great. I thought it was good. Like I don't see why he couldn't go in the ring, and I don't know why they had him on the shelf for 3 years and not willing to use him. I don't get that. Like,
I did love how Wade Barrett was on commentary when he was coming out. He's like, this Brit is coming out and he's having his first match at SummerSlam, and like Michael Cole's like, I've never heard you announce like this ever. This excited.
Yeah, I know.
I thought it was awesome. I loved it. And you got to think about it. I don't know how old is Wade Barrett, but I'm just trying to think of like these guys are similarly around the same.
They're like late
Let me see. I think I
40s,
got it
maybe
here.
starting to hit early 50s, maybe.
Let's see if he's 30. No, he's 45. Okay, so he's a little older.
Yeah.
But to hear him mark
so-
like that on the mic was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
One
was
quick
pretty
thing
Go
I
ahead,
do
bro.
want to. Yeah.
No, I was just
Go
gonna
ahead, bro.
say,
Yeah.
yeah, no, my bad, guys. I was just gonna say that I wonder if they decided to keep him in that general manager role just because he's so good at it. I don't even think it was necessarily
Probably.
that his in-ring performance was bad. I just think that in that general manager role for the last couple of years, he's done such a hell of a job that they didn't want to essentially they didn't want to mess with that. I think that's probably what went into that decision. But if they do decide to pull the trigger and have him be a full-time wrestler, he definitely showed that on Saturday that like if they go in that direction that he can definitely do it and do it very effectively. So
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like he was great in the ring. He got his family in the ring. Mickey James and their kids were there. I thought that was awesome for him. And I think he's talented. I was impressed. I mean, is he on Gunther's level? He was able to hang with him for multiple times. For how long was that match? He was able to hang for him with 12 minutes. So there's something there with him, and I liked it. LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys actually getting a win. We talked about this before last week when we made our picks that they desperately needed this win. The Bloodline didn't need this win. And once we get into Raw, we'll see what happens with LA Knight. Liv Morgan retaining over Io Sky. I thought it was a good matchup.
Daniel, sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah,
I
go
actually
ahead.
think a lot of people are actually sleeping on how good that match was. Like that actually was, in my opinion, that was Liv Morgan's best performance in her career. Now you could say that's because she was in the ring with Io, but that I feel like people aren't giving that match as much credit as they should, because to kick off SummerSlam, those two women went balls to the wall and had a tremendous match. That could arguably be a top 5 contender for women's matches in WWE this year with what they did. And as much as we're not a fan of Liv's character or her the way that she delivers promos or whatever the case may be, she definitely showed me something. Now, is she a general like Triple H said in WWE Unreal? I still don't see that, but she definitely did show me something that, like being in the ring with someone like Io Sky, that like she can step up to that level on a PLE being the women's world champion. So from that standpoint, she definitely showed me something.
You want to know who Liv Morgan is? She's the Miz.
No, don't do that.
She's the Miz.
No, she's way better than Miz. She's way better than Miz.
Miz wasn't injury prone. Miz wasn't as injury prone.
I feel like she's the Miz. She can hang in the ring. She's okay.
Yeah. I get the comparison. Definitely the obnoxious, the over the top, like I'm the best.
The annoying. Yeah.
I think she's slightly better than the Miz.
That's what I say there.
But
I don't know. Damn. I got to earn that category. But no, it was a great opening match. The interference didn't bog it down too much. You knew it was going to happen at some point, but it didn't bog down the match. I thought it was a great way to showcase Liv and get her in that continue her trouble tour. Io Sky's not going to have a bad match. I haven't seen it. Like, I haven't seen it. She's going to have a great match all the time. So, very impressed by those women. Night one was pretty impressive. I think the low lights probably is Fatal Influence in the Bellas. That's probably the low light because it just didn't need to be there. I felt like that just didn't need to be on the card. But yeah, that's it for night one. Let's get into night two of SummerSlam. We had this was a shocker to me. In the opening match, it was supposed to be Finn Balor taking on Sami Zayn in the number one contendership for the WWE Undisputed title. Nick Aldis, returning GM, came in and added Gunther to the match. Turn around and made it a fatal four-way with the shock of SummerSlam night two to me. In bringing out a returning Kevin Owens, who we didn't think we will see again, came back and won the goddamn thing and won the match to become the number one contender for the WWE Undisputed Championship. It's the end of Trick Williams' reign as the United States Champion, his first reign at least, winning by Baron Corbin. I said it was going to happen.
All I heard was Brian's reaction to this when I saw that match.
Again, like I said on Wrestling Spotlight, it would have been foolish to bring him back just to lose, but that doesn't mean I'm happy to see him with the title. So.
Yeah, so we'll get into that. The shock of the night. A very shock of the night. Chelsea Green winning the Fatal Five-Way match. Not a match.
Good for her.
For the interim. Yep, you called it. You called it for the interim WWE Women's Championship. It was a great match.
No, I'm serious. Stop saying interim. She's the Women's World Champion. Stop saying interim. I don't care what WWE said. She's the Women's World Champion. She's not the interim champion.
It says interim.
I don't give a shit what they said. She's the champion. Period.
Yeah, that's my champ.
Well,
it's Chelsea Green.
It says interim. I'm just saying it. What? Hold on. Let me look it up. Hold on. Interim.
Even Peter Rosenberg put out a tweet.
An alternate title that is awarded to sanctioning bodies of professional boxing or other combat sports such as kickboxing, professional wrestling, and mixed martial arts. Occasionally, the champion of a particular weight class is temporarily unable to defend their championship because of their medical, legal, or other reasons beyond competitors' control. She's interim. It's okay.
Again, the concept makes absolutely no sense. Chelsea Green is the champion. Okay.
We had Danhausen defeating Dominic Mysterio for Human Monies on a pole match.
Before you continue, I gotta ask you a question. So obviously, if you go on the TikTok page, you did a fabulous job giving your own personal reviews of each match. But I noticed you didn't do a review for this match. Why not?
The monies.
Okay. Moving on. We had Chad Gable.
Danhausen didn't give him any money. No. That's why he didn't review it.
Yeah, he didn't throw. I wasn't in the crowd. He didn't throw any money to me. Highly disappointed. We had Chad Gable finally getting his WrestleMania 40 moment that he should have had, winning the Intercontinental title in his hometown of Minnesota. And a good match against Penta. That was a great match, great moment for Chad Gable. And then in the main event, we had Roman Reigns finally tying all the loose ends, finally getting that much-needed win to cement his dominance over everyone on the roster, winning the world heavyweight, retaining his world heavyweight title against a valiant Seth Rollins. That match ended with a nice tribute to the Shield. They did crazy lines, clothesline from Seth. They did the dirty deeds from Roman, and just a nice pin on that. But what is your guys' biggest takeaway from night two? Let's start with Lewis. Lewis, go ahead.
Chelsea Green. I called it. I had faith. You know what? I was like, I'll join the bandwagon. Everybody say Charlotte, maybe Jade, but no. I said Chelsea Green. I said she deserved it. And I love even better that during the press thing, she said this is for Michael Hayes, which I thought was a cherry on top, which I'm curious to know if she was actually throwing shade or if it was just like, oh, haha, unreal, whatever. That was my top spot of the night. Definitely loved the Chad Gable Penta. Again, another person who deserves a title, deserves a win. I thought that was great. One thing I did notice online that I guess I didn't see as a big deal, but I guess it is weird that once he won, they had the mascot for like root beer come out and like celebrate with him.
That was a thing. He was on the apron.
Like the thing in Minnesota, apparently. I don't know. Which I thought was just a little like, really, you gotta get his championship win and you gotta throw some advertisement in there. Which I thought was a little off. The Roman Seth match I thought was great. I thought there was a lot of great storytelling. Very long match, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of back and forth. Honestly, at one point I didn't really know who was gonna win, but I was pretty sure Roman was gonna win. But yeah, what others? Of course, the monies. I'm not gonna lie. As much as a fan of Danhausen I am, he does, again, and we've said it before, he doesn't need all these matches. He doesn't need a match at every PLE. Save it for Saturday night's main event. Save it maybe for a random Raw or whatever, but he does not need to be taking up these spots because, again, I get the comedy and for the kids and whatever, but let's leave that for the week to week. The PLE should be moving stories, pushing people, championships, titles, and it's like, whatever. If we still had a pre-show, put that there, But it's like, and then you got Dom over here. Like, this man was on top of the world last year, and now he's just, I don't know what we're doing with Dom. I actually feel bad for Dom, and I can understand if reports are true that he's frustrated. I agree 100%. What else? Am I missing? Is that it? Yeah, I think that there was a lot. For me, there was a lot. I think
you got the Baron Corbin situation. You got a retainer, Kevin Owens.
I'll let Brian handle that one. I feel the same exact way. I think it's terrible with the should have never been. If anything, it should have been a triple threat. They have Carmelo in there. I don't know why, but whatever. But yeah, for me, it was definitely Chelsea Green. That's definitely someone who has been overlooked for a long time, who is able to adapt and, bring to life whatever she does. So I'm definitely, that was my highlight.
Okay,
biggest takeaways.
So obviously one of my biggest takeaways, obviously the return of Kevin Owens, but not just his return. How they did it, which was very, very clever on their part. I know that we spent the majority of the last month or so attacking WWE creative for the mistakes that they've made, but I also think we should give them credit when they do stumble upon something good.
Do we have to?
Yeah, this is the one time I think we should give them a little bit of credit because when Gunther first came out, I was just like, what the hell are you? What the hell are you doing?
I was like, no.
What the hell are you guys doing? Like I go, like why is he coming out and how is he getting an opportunity from the GM that got his ass beat, bro? So I thought like there's no way, but then as soon as they said there's gonna be one more participant, I'm like, okay, let's see who it is, and then you heard that music and it was just like, oh my god,
yeah.
And
quick question, who did you think it would be?
Well, I had no clue at all.
Yeah, I had no clue. Okay.
I had no clue. I didn't think Kevin Owens. I just hoped that whoever it was going to be, it would just be somebody worthwhile. And in this case, it was what's
funny? Online, I did see that like, oh, Kevin Owens is going to return. Randy Orton's going to return, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe he'll like show up after the match with Sammy or whatever, or Randy. Obviously, we were like, oh, Randy's going to come screw somebody over. But then when they did all this, I was like, I completely forgot, and I was like, oh shit, it's KO. That was great. I thought
Yeah,
that was
I was generally happy with
Yes.
Kevin Owens' return. I'll say
Yes.
that. Much
Yeah,
needed.
I was generally happy as well because I remember one of the very first episodes of Brian versus the Dirt Sheets that I did. One of the stories was Dave Meltzer reporting that Kevin Owens was that like immediately got his surgery the week after he announced he was retiring, and in actuality, Kevin Owens hadn't even scheduled the surgery, didn't even know what he was doing. And I remember I went kind of hard on Meltzer because it's about it because it's just like this is a neck injury, so obviously he's taking his time with the with what he's going to do to heal up.
Yeah.
So, but it's great to see him back. Tremendous that he's the number one contender now. That program between him and CM Punk, at least on the mic, is going to be must see TV. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yes.
I mean, night 2 in general, smash night 1. It's getting to a point right now where you're just asking the question of, damn, why can't we just have consistency on both nights? What is stopping you guys from being consistent on both nights? Why does one night have to suck to put more pressure on you for the second night to be great? Like the consistency should exist for both nights. But another thing. So you got Baron Corbin winning the U.S. title. Again, I've already expressed my emotions on Baron Corbin being back. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of his at all. I actually thought the match between him and Trick Williams did less for Trick. I put Trick in a predicament where he's up against a guy where stylistically it doesn't look as good. So Trick had one of his lesser than matches in my opinion. But I can only hope that moving forward that Trick Williams is going to factor into the main event. Hell, I have him penciled in right now to win Money in the Bank, Trick. So that's going to be interesting moving forward. Chelsea Green, loved seeing that. Loved seeing that. They went for the heartwarming moment. It definitely mirrors her husband Zack Ryder winning the IC title at WrestleMania. I think it was WrestleMania 32 in Dallas. And it's definitely looking like it's going to be set up that she's going to suffer the same fate that he did. First title defense, which is probably going to be up against Rhea when she comes back. That she's probably going to lose the title. But hell, we got the moment. She's WWE champion. So that's definitely something positive. And then the main event, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, they pretty much gave a clinic on the concept of storytelling, especially within like the last 10 or 15 minutes. I mean, when Roman had that chair in his hand, and he was considering hitting Seth Rollins, and he threw the chair down, I'm immediately like, okay, he's gonna win this match.
Yeah.
Seth is not in his head anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty much, and I interpreted that as Roman Reigns pretty much finally letting getting betrayed by Seth Rollins go after all those years.
Yep.
And it was tremendous. Like that's storytelling. That's the type of emotional stuff that draws the fans in. That's the soap opera stuff that we as fans loved growing up, kind of connecting the dots. And it was a tremendous performance. You definitely see. I mean, there was no bloodline involvement. There was no shenanigans. So I wonder if they're moving forward that this is just going to be the booking for Roman Reigns to make up for those 4 years where the bloodline interfered in every one of his matches. So now I think they're trying to pay it forward and have Roman be strong and win on his own, which is a positive. So yeah, those are my takeaways.
Big surprise too.
Yep. Your takeaways from night 2, Sonny?
I'd like to just recap a little bit on night 1. Real pleased that Oba Femi and the outcome of his match with Brock. Very surprised that Brock decided to step down and retire after the match. He said he just couldn't take the slams anymore from Oba, and I believe that. So you go through that, and then you get to LA Knight and the Bloodline, and what a tremendous outcome that was. Solo Sikoa proving he could do either side of the fence well. And I think that storyline is going to go back and forth, and we're going to see some great rival matches out of that. I don't think that's over yet. Night 2, big takeaway from that was Chelsea Green winning the title. And I've been rooting for Green now for about a year, and for her to have a procedure done just a few short months ago and come back and get the whole thing, that's out of this world amazing. Chad Gable winning was fantastic. I think if anyone deserved it, it was Chad Gable. He has totally outside of bringing in a doctor's note to work, reinvented himself again and made himself a well-known figure in wrestling at this point in time. Nobody thought he could come out from under the Americano image, but he has prevailed that and persevered and gotten past that, and in turn shed light on the Mexican wrestlers as to who they are and where they're from. And that he said in an interview that earlier in the year that he had no idea that the Americano store was going to explode the way it did.
I don't think anybody did.
He said he said initially it was only going to be 3 or 4 matches of it. He said, but the fans latched on to it like lightning. And he said after that it was off to the races, and everybody was trying to be the Americano, he said. So hats off to him for coming out from under that and bonding with the Mexican wrestlers. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, great match. I would like to see A, Seth Rollins take some time off, and B, come back and become Seth freaking Rollins again. I'm tired of seeing all the stuff that's happening to him at this point. I mean, why do you want to knock somebody so far down that they can't come back from that? And that's kind of what WWE appears to be doing to Seth freaking Rollins at this point. So, I mean, what are they trying to do? Are they trying to retire him? Are they trying to get him gone? Or are they simply trying to make him an underdog so he can come back? That's my question, open-ended question at this point in time. So when they figure that out, then maybe we can enjoy seeing Burn It Down Seth freaking Rollins again. I don't think he's through. I just think he needs some time off to recover. So.
Interesting takes from all you guys. My biggest takeaway obviously was the main event for me. Roman Reigns and Seth. Those are the classics we want to see at the big main events. We want to see these guys put on 2 guys mano a mano, as Sonny always says, 2 guys fighting for the gold. That's what we want to see. But the storytelling tied into it with the Shield and Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins hitting crazy lines and Roman Reigns hitting dirty deeds. It was just theater at its peak. And we saw a chance for both men to cheat and a chance for them to be underhanded and use the tactics. And if the bloodline was coming out, and as Brian alluded to with Seth not being in Roman's head anymore and the ability to beat him in that fashion, I thought that was impactful. I think, as I said, since WrestleMania, Backlash, and SummerSlam, Roman Reigns has done it on his own. He hasn't had the bloodline help coming in and interfering and stuff like that. And I think they're really trying to establish him, kind of, as Brian said again, making up for those 4 years of doing it on his own and those big money moments, really being that guy that should be the main event. Like, he's showing why he should be the main event. As for Seth Rollins, I don't know where he goes from here. It's kind of like, again, I kind of agree with Sonny. He should probably take a break right now. He recently just came back. You know what I mean?
Took a break with not a break.
You know, from WrestleMania, coming back from surgery and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see who he's faced, because I don't want to see him in the matchup with Braun unless it's for a title or something like that with stakes on the line. I just don't want him to start feuding with him. I don't see him going after Oba after Raw. We don't see us going in that direction. So it's really kind of just a hold and wait pattern for him. I don't know. I don't think he gets traded because Becky Lynch is on Raw as well. I don't see that happening right now. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him, but I'm just glad that he was able to put on performance. He doesn't have a bad match. He's always able to put on a good performance there. Chad Gable winning the Intercontinental title. Awesome moment. We've been waiting for that forever. Since WrestleMania 40, where he was kind of taken out of that position, injury and stuff like that. So to see him back in this role and actually win the IC title as a person who's been in the company since NXT Black and Gold, like, it's been a while. So to see him finally get that moment and those accolades and that appreciation from the fans, it was just awesome. And in his hometown, that was awesome. Chelsea Green winning the title, I did not see that happening. I did not see that. But once I saw, who was it, Charlotte?
I was hoping. I called Charlotte, but I was hoping Chelsea had.
Who was at the top of the ladder? Was it Charlotte? I forgot who fell off.
It was everybody. It was Charlotte, Jade.
Yeah, it was everybody. And then I saw Chelsea Green was hooked on the ladder, and then all of a sudden popped up. I'm like, there's no way they're going to do it. And they did it. I can't believe they did it.
I couldn't.
I'm a little worried because, again, interim champion, Brian. Interim champion. Brian. I'm just worried about what they're going to do next with her. I would love to see her defend the title at least once and get something underneath her belt, like until Rhea Ripley comes back. Maybe get a few title defenses, kind of be like, hey, I've been defending the championship, and kind of build her up a little bit.
She needs another faction.
I still wish the Secret Service was still there because I thought this would have been the perfect ammunition, even as a heel when she was the United States champion, to have that heat around her.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this.
Go ahead, Brian.
If her first and only title defense or only title match is against Rhea and she loses, you have to turn Rhea Ripley heel. Because everybody is 100% pro Chelsea Green right now. Yeah. As an underdog, as a character, the work that she's done the last couple of months being with Tiffany Stratton, she's a bona fide natural babyface right now. So if you beat her the first title defense and it's Rhea, you might have to turn Rhea heel because I don't think Rhea was maintain that popularity that she has.
This is the issue that I had with that because one, everyone loves Rhea Ripley. We know it's Chelsea Green, but everybody loves Rhea Ripley from backstage, the fans. Everyone goes nuts when she comes out. She has that it appeal. My only issue with that is that look at the heels on SmackDown. Fatal Influence. You got Blake Monroe. You got Jade and the Baddies. You got Nia Jax. You got Lash Legend. That's like 10 people that are heels in the women's division.
Yeah.
Make some of them baby faces.
Yes, make some of them. And the thing about it is,
child leader at this point. So
yeah, and the thing about it is that Chelsea is such a. We all know she's a great character, but we've talked about it before. We've seen other examples of her, whether it was against Penta and Lucha Underground or against other competitors. Like you could easily tweak her character to make her more aggressive. It's very easy. I mean, you can easily do that. Even though she does well with what she's doing right now, if you wanted to make her more serious, it's very easy to do that. She has the ability to do that. So
there's a way that they can do it, but I'm just skeptical if they're going to do it because the obvious choice for us is to turn Rhea heel. We've been waiting for that for a long time. We love Mommy's Home and all that stuff, and she's been great in the ring, but it's like she's bigger than everybody else. And Rhea Ripley as a powerhouse, as a heel, would be awesome again. I don't know if they're going to go in that direction, but there's a lot of stuff they can do with that. As for Chelsea Green, I think there's a way that she can lose the title and then get a fire underneath her even more.
No.
Lewis, how many interim champions outside of AEW hold on to their titles?
We even had an interim in WWE.
I don't understand it. I agree with both you guys. I'm gonna quit the joke. Once you relinquish the title, you're no longer the champion. You're no longer the champion. And I'm sorry that it came to injury and stuff like that, but you're no longer the champion. I think you should get first dibs when you come back.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're no longer the champion. You're no longer the champion. But I thought Lash Legend looked fantastic. I didn't want to move on before saying that. I thought she looked fantastic in that match as a powerhouse. The power bomb to Tiffany Stratton in the corner of the ring. I was like, holy shit, that shit looked crazy. I was happy with everybody's performance in there. Jade Cargill had the Prince tribute in Minnesota and stuff like that. I thought that was ill with that.
It should have been Julia, damn it.
Who Lash Legend defeated in like 3 minutes, but
you know,
should have been Julia, damn it.
You know what's my little gripe? Like, Lash is an imposing body, but I think she needs to be more aggressive. I think too many times in that match, she's over here like, oh, let me go for
posing. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we get your character, but it's like you're in a ladder match. Like you gotta be like throwing people around.
She's gotta be like Cain.
Yeah. And then you don't leave out Nia Jax in the mix of the women's division.
I would have loved Nia Jax in this match, but I guess Nia Jax wasn't taking any bumps off the ladder.
Lewis, by the way, that little imitation you just did of Lash, don't ever do that again.
Well, see how bad that looked? That's what she was doing in the damn match.
Trick Williams, we're not looking for no smoke on this podcast.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying, how many times you got to point at the damn title? We know it's up there. Go get it.
Yeah, forget it. the logic in these gimmick matches, like table matches, ladder matches, the Royal Rumble and stuff like that, it's like, we know you guys need to throw them over the top. We know we need to go to the ladder. We know what the prize is. Like, I get what you're saying, Lewis. I get what you're saying. As for Baron Corbin defeating Trick Williams, I thought it was necessary because it's like, why bring him back? And I understand why everybody hates it, because it's like, Trick Williams is a young star. He shouldn't be losing to Baron Corbin. I understand it. I would have rather much him lose to Carmelo or Ilya Dragunov or anyone else in the mid card at this point in time. But Baron Corbin does provide something, even though he comes out flat. He gets go away heat, and that's something that you need for a heel in this style. For a lot of guys to battle on the roster, he can be an asshole again. I just want to see something with him. He's been in MLW. He's trying to reinvent himself. Kind of the same guy, but I want to see something with this going forward. I'm not going to say I don't like Baron Corbin. I liked Baron Corbin because he was willing to do everything and anything. But I hope they find something with
in the ring. That's the thing.
Wow. I hope he just finds something, because it's like, we need something.
He needs some kind of different heel character, because, like you said, it's kind of the same thing he was doing before. It's just like, here, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, maybe.
Remember him tag teaming with Lacey Evans? Remember that? Remember that? Yeah, when he was when they were going up against Seth and Becky.
Just think, what I was more excited about was when he was broke Corbin, and he was that was probably the best thing he had done in the longest time, and then they just blew it up, and it was terrible.
No, that's what I was gonna say. That character work is the highlight of his career. The highlight of his career is him portraying a bum ass. Just think about that. Being bum ass Baron Corbin is the highlight of your career right now.
Hey, he was becoming a babyface. All right, leave him alone.
What they need him to do. I wish they paired him with.
Brian, everyone needs a paycheck, so you do what you gotta do for your paycheck.
Yep, this economy. Are you kidding me?
I agree. And no way, he portrayed the character very, very well. Now, he did a hell of a job. He was selling it outside of the ring, wearing the same clothes, letting his facial hair growing. So he played it well. I'm just saying that's the only great thing he's done.
It wasn't I Got Kids. It wasn't I Got Kids, but it was very effective. As I said, I always wanted him to team up with JBL in that angle, and him to just become a badass again, and JBL be his manager in some capacity.
Horrible.
They didn't do it right.
They tried. Right, no. You know why they broke it up? Because that's Baron Corbin's fault. I'm sorry. Because if you're with a great heel like JBL, I mean, to me, they pretty much gifted you something special, and you couldn't capitalize on it. So I'm always gonna look at Baron Corbin.
Like he chooses if he wins or loses. Come on, now that's not good.
The booking, man, the booking. But now Baron Corbin, we'll see what he can do. Hopefully he picks up on SmackDown. Kevin Owens returning again. Internet messing up? No, you're good. I'm just checking if my internet connection's good. But for Kevin Owens returning, loved it. Big Kevin Owens fan. It was skeptical. You heard all the reports and stuff like that saying if he was going to be around again, if he was ever going to wrestle again. People were saying that he didn't look good in public and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden, he shows up to the dance and he's back. Yeah. And I'm happy as hell that he is back. So the feud between him and CM Punk is going to feed families for a couple weeks. And we'll see what happens with that. But night 2, I thought SummerSlam was a great success. People were debating if this was better than WrestleMania, and I was have to lean towards yes, just because it had a little bit more emotion behind the matches.
And wasn't it more matches?
And I just think, no, not more match. I think there was just a little bit more momentum and a little bit more oomph in the matches. Yeah. Like there's a little more stakes and a little bit more oomph. Yeah. So WWE, this is my message. Take this as a building point to continue to build this thing. You guys have something. You guys have the superstars. And continue to build this towards the right way. We got a lot going on as we continue here. Let's continue to move on to Monday Night Raw. A lot of moving parts on Monday Night Raw. We had Roman Reigns coming out and kind of saluting Seth Rollins and kind of saying that he's kind of defeated the roster and all these things. But the person who defeated his familia, the bloodline, LA Knight, comes out and interacts with Roman Reigns, and LA Knight gives one of his best promos in a long time. Well, not even a long time. I feel like he does go on the mic, but this was putting him in the main event spot against Roman Reigns. What did you guys make of this interaction between these two? Potential matchup between these two. I'll go ahead, Sonny.
You can go ahead. You go ahead, Sonny.
I thought it was fantastic. I'm an LA Knight fan. I think earlier this year they dragged his storyline out too far.
Yep.
LA Knight's such a huge talent. He reminds me of a Ric Flair type wrestler. He comes out and does his thing at any angle they ask him to. It looked like he was going to be cut loose earlier in the year. Y'all may remember, and he came back from that. So. And made the line there. So I think I don't want to see him get thrown away like the WWE threw away Andre. I think it would be a huge loss to the company if they don't continue to build LA Knight up. And the way he stands up to Roman, he and Soto Sikoa together are just phenomenal. And I'm not tired of the Bloodline story. I think it's interesting to see the family feud among themselves like families do. There's like 22 of them out there now. They're all Samoans. I knew The Rock's dad by a little bit from the Dorton Arena days. And, the Samoans have been in it forever in terms of professional wrestling. And there was a popular Samoan tag team back in my day, and I knew those guys too back in the day. So they're tough competitors. They're not going anywhere. And Roman actually said, I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but Roman said, "You are going to push me until I turn ugly again." He said that to the whole family. I thought that was hilarious.
They're pushing
He said, "Y'all are going to make me be ugly if you don't start getting along."
They're pushing them. They're pushing them towards it. I said that with the loss, if they lost at SummerSlam, would there be repercussions? There's potential. He's kind of leaning towards it a little bit there.
Yeah. So
your thoughts on it, Brian?
Yeah, so like Sonny said, it was a fantastic segment. I mean, when LA Knight first came out, when his music hit, the first thought that went through my mind was, okay, now the fans have been clamoring for you on social media for the last month or two. Everyone's been talking about how tremendous your promos are, how the crowd's been hot for you, how when Triple H makes the comment that nobody is as over as CM Punk, Roman Reigns, or Cody Rhodes, that's the reason why other guys aren't getting opportunities. We're hearing all this stuff, and as soon as he came out, I'm like, okay. Now you gotta show them back there why you deserve to be in the main event, mixing it up with the top guy in the company. So you need to knock this promo out of the park. I was just hoping that like the same quality of promo that we've been getting from him for the last month, that we would get the exact same thing against Roman, and he didn't hold any punches. His delivery and demeanor, everything was on point. After that promo, I literally felt like, okay, what the hell took so damn long for you to finally put him back in this spot? He definitely felt like he belonged, and I can only hope that moving forward that he continues to be booked in this manner. I don't know when they were planning on having this match. The speculation was either Money in the Bank or the next Saturday night's main event show, whatever it may be. But I'm just glad that they put LA Knight in a sink or swim situation with Roman Reigns, and he swam. So I'm glad to see that he's getting this opportunity now.
And LA Knight has the same
thoughts on this
energy to me that The Rock had years ago. I mean, he's just highly energetic. So LA Knight's got to be a little bit like the real guy, because I know after 32 years of being the Man Eagle is like a secondary person to who I am in my everyday life. So that's got to be why he plays that role so well.
Yeah,
he's been doing that for a long time. Go ahead, Lewis.
I thought it was great. I thought LA Knight he's been on fire lately with his promos. Definitely getting the crowd love. I mean, it seems like, Roman's been involved in all these other feuds, so I guess it kind of sucks that LA Knight has had to take like not taking the back seat, but just being kept on this mid card level and these other feuds and stuff with
Holding
the
pattern.
Usos. Exactly,
Yeah.
and now he's finally getting that time to shine.
Don't put him up too fast.
Even though he's been shining on his own already, but now he's finally going to be in that main event spot. And I think, as much as this is somebody who I am rooting for, who I think deserves a title. I don't think he's going to get it yet, but I hope he at least stays in the main event scene at least. But it also sucks because it's like if he loses, then it's right back to square one. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it is kind of a sink or swim moment for him. But it's also like, yeah, you're giving him a spot, but are you actually going to put the title on him? And if not, are you going to keep him there? So I'm curious to see how they're going to play this out. Maybe he'll get screwed and it'll continue and lead to war games and then continue after that. But I really hope this does lead to him getting a title eventually and not just a one-off where he's right back in the mid-card like where we've seen. Because right now what's saving him is his promos. It's his promos, it's his delivery.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now the ability to attack people, especially going after Roman after all the stuff the Bloodline has done to him, he has plenty of ammo to go after them. So he can keep it going, especially after beating the Usos, Jacob Fatu, and all that. It's like it's Roman's time, and I don't care how many times it's going to take. I'm going to get that title, and I hope he does.
We'll see what happens with that. I don't know if he's going to win because it's just that it's going to take some help. I don't know if Roman's doing anything with the bloodline right now.
Maybe Solo helps him win.
I think, speaking on that, I think it's interesting because LA Knight is what we saw about backstage where Roman was like, "Don't touch him. Like I'll handle him. Like I'll handle this guy."
That was
I loved when
segment.
LA Knight came out and said, "You guys can't touch me, right? You guys gotta listen to Daddy. You guys can't touch me, right?" And how he punked Jay. I'm wondering if Jay blows his gasket, and then that's how we get some dissension in the bloodline between Roman and Jay, because he's like, "Yo, I told you not to touch him," and then Jay just loses his gasket because LA Knight pushes him over the edge. Whatever the case may be, I love that. I loved how they tied all that together, and it's going to be interesting what happens forward. But I'm just happy LA Knight's in this moment. And I think it's a good matchup. I think it's something that we saw vaguely. What was that? The Royal Rumble, was that 2 years ago or a year ago or so when he faced LA Knight? But for him to get this moment, I think it's just good that he got it. So hopefully that continues with him going forward, and we'll see what happens. Let's keep moving on. We got a return of a guy kind of similar to Baron Corbin, but Javon Evans defeated Ethan Page, and we got a returning Big Cass to the main roster. What did you guys think about his? What did you guys think about his return? I'll let you go first, Brian.
I mean, there really isn't really much to say about it. it was what it was. He came back. He looks great. If we're talking about, if we're comparing his his last WWE run as from a physique standpoint, he looks 10 times as better. He said it's been eight years. If you've been watching him in AEW, he was in that stable with the Chris Jericho, where it seemed like just being associated with Jericho was allowing him to be more confident on the mic and getting better week after week. Because you guys remember in his first run with Enzo, Enzo did the majority of the talking, and whenever he talked, it literally sounded like he was talking like speaking from a teleprompter. He would always talk very slow, he wasn't methodical with it, and he definitely felt like he was reading a script. So I definitely felt that in 8 years, he definitely is a lot more comfortable on the mic. But I still don't see what the plan is going to be for him. Are you going to have him in the main event? Is he just going to hang around the mid card? Who's he going to feud with first? It might not be Javon Evans. They might have just done that just so he could have that spot and have that moment. So my question is just what do you exactly are going to do with him to get the most out of him? And I feel like you get the most out of him when Enzo was with him. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do moving forward.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sonny. What did you think about Big Cass return? Sonny, what did you think about Big Cass' return? I'm sorry, I don't know.
I was very surprised to see his return to the WWE. What thrilled about picking on Siobhan Evans? Siobhan Evans is literally earning his paycheck every week by going out and wrestling and doing like he's supposed to. I think the young man will get bigger as he continues to grow and continues to work out. He reminds me of a younger Sting at this point with his high flying skills and ability. And they actually asked him to tone that down. Roman spoke to him a minute and said, "Can you tone it down just a little bit with your high flying maneuvers?" And I thought that was interesting that the OTC would mention that to him. And since then he has. But just an impressive athlete. I saw Siobhan Evans a year and a half or so ago in NXT when he had his partner with him. And I told you, I said, I bought him, and since then the world's been talking about him. Not because I saw him, but because of his raw talent and ability. And he's going to win a lot of world titles. He's on his way. He's going to be a kingpin player, no doubt, as time moves on. But did not like the finish. Did not approve of the final outcome after he won the match. Quit picking on him and just let him have his lane in this day. So,
thoughts on Big Cass' return, Lewis?
Is that it?
The crowd goes mild.
You know what's funny? I am a fan of Big Cass. I was hoping in AEW that he would get his own run, because I mean, I know he was in TNA for a bit and I think he was doing some good stuff there, but I didn't really get a chance to see that. I was hoping he was gonna get like a singles push in AEW. We didn't really see that.
I'm with you, Brian.
And honestly, him coming back, I'm sorry. I wanted to see Enzo. I wanted to see Enzo back. I want them in the tag division. I want them to revitalize the tag division, because we don't even see it anymore. Like, I don't even know who the tag team champs are right now. Like, it's bad how bad tag team wrestling is treated right now in WWE. AEW still holds tag team wrestling up there, but WWE has no priority, no concern, no nothing on tag team wrestling. So I was hoping he would come back to that. I mean, yes, physically he looks great. He's huge. He's imposing. He's got a damn six-pack. I wish I could do that. But it's like, you know, this wasn't a shocking return. They already announced that he was coming back, so we were already expecting it. And then just to attack Javon, and the promo after was just like, nothing personal. I'm just coming after everybody. It's like, okay. I don't know. I would have rather him have a squash match to just show how imposing he is, instead of coming after somebody like Javon that everybody loves right now. I get it was probably for heat, but it just didn't really do anything. That's why I said woo. I'm like, we knew you were coming. Could have had a better impact, and this just was not it. So I'm hopeful. Maybe. I mean, you never know. He could become a huge star. We could see something we haven't seen in a long time, but I'm not gonna also hold my breath though. But we'll see.
I think. Go ahead, Brian.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I just want to add one more thing. When you listen to his promo, if you compare it side by side to the promo that he cut and the promo package they did for Baron Corbin, they're literally back for the same fucking reason.
They're the same guy on different programs, so they're different, Brian. Remember, the rosters are separate.
One has hair, one doesn't. That's all it is. One has hair, one doesn't.
True. Great point. I mean, I think it was a good return. I mean, I thought they were going the route of Javon. Now Javon has to get his get back, right? Like, I don't see him just standing down for that. I think it can be a good, real feud for Javon Evans to go up against a guy of that stature and size and stuff like that. The high flyer versus the big, tall, giant powerhouse. I think they can do that potentially. As for his return, you add him into the mid card. You got Rusev, you got Ethan Page, you got some guys that he can work with, at least on that side of things, that I can see from that side, against Javon Evans, against Chad Gable, maybe Penta. We'll see what happens with that. But I'm just thinking that he can be a different dynamic to the division in the mid card, right? Because Braun Strowman isn't there, Bronson Reed isn't there. A lot of those guys that are big in the mid card aren't there right now. So I think there is a place for him to develop and grow and have an impact. So that's what I think about Big Cass return. I don't think it was great, but I think it's something that could potentially be something worthwhile. I can see something there, and maybe there's a vision there with him in that role. But we'll see. I can see him being the muscle for Ethan Page and Rusev as the third guy and stuff like that. I can see something there with that.
Right into another faction.
What is he? Let's be honest. Is he good enough? Is he good enough to be on his own? Maybe.
We haven't seen it.
Maybe.
We haven't seen it. The man is 7 foot tall.
I don't know. Remember, he used to say, "I'm 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that." Yeah.
He needs to run with that. He needs to run with that. That's what
I don't know if that's going to happen. But let's keep moving on. Thank God. We finally have somebody in the women's division on Raw. Finally, we got a returning Becky Lynch. We got a returning Stephanie back here. Thank the Lord.
Yes.
Thank the Lord. Sol Ruka had an impressive match. Sol Ruka had a good match against Roxanne Perez, one of her better matches, ending in disqualification once the Judgment Day got involved. And then we had a returning Becky Lynch come out, and they had a war of words between her and Liv Morgan, kind of setting up the scene. And then as Liv Morgan was trying to make her exit, we got the returning Stephanie back here. Oh, my God. Thank God. What do you guys make of Becky Lynch and Stephanie Vaccare's return into the women's division? Go ahead, Lewis.
That wasn't. Oh, go ahead, Lewis. Go ahead, Lewis.
Yeah,
go ahead, Lewis. Lewis, you got it.
I love it. I love that. Like I just said, we're getting some challengers. I get it. They had Queen of the Ring, but at the same time, the fact that Liv did not even defend this title since Mania, I think is mind-boggling. I think it's going to be great. I love the stare down between Becky and Stephanie. I'm a huge Stephanie fan, and for her and Becky to kind of go at it and still be in the mix for the title, a triple threat is going to be amazing between them. And it's also going to be a great way to protect them both if neither of them win. But I am excited to see Stephanie back because she's been missed. And she should even go and collect that damn IC title from Raquel as well. But I'm glad that she's back. I'm actually even excited for Becky at 2 because I feel like I don't even remember the last time we've seen the Liv Becky feud, or if there ever really has been one. So I'm curious to see how they're gonna work well with each other. So definitely excited for it.
Yep. Thoughts, Brian?
Oh, okay. So Daniel, I actually want to correct you. That wasn't a war of words. Becky Lynch absolutely ate up Liv Morgan with this.
Yeah.
She massacred her. Let's be honest.
Let me say this, Brian. I have never been a fan of Becky Lynch on the mic. I think she's average at best. I think she stumbles. But what she did against Liv Morgan,
exactly. No,
that
was a massacre. And every single thing that she said was 100% fact. Talking about the title reign, going as far as to even say you're not even the best champion that slept with Don Mysterio. Like all that stuff that she was saying was just point blank. And also, it kind of made me think for a second, like, dang. I mean, she hasn't been a babyface in so long that it's just like it makes you think sometimes, like, damn, is she a better heel or is she a better babyface? Yeah. I think she's like you said, she's average in both. But it's like, but damn, when she's firing on all cylinders like that as a babyface, I mean the sky is the limit. But the women's division on Raw definitely got a breath of fresh air with her and Stephanie Vacare back. Like Lewis said, we love seeing Stephanie. I guess apparently saw a report that she's been ready for a little while, but they were just holding off on her return to make it have it happen in the right spot. I mean, me personally, I would have had her return as soon as she was ready, because the women's division at that point desperately needed it. But now that you see these two top women back, like I said, now the women's division the women's division is, like I said, it has a breath of fresh air. So you can only hope that moving forward that they continue with that momentum. We might finally start to see now the slow descent of the Judgment Day. Hopefully.
I hope so.
Yep. My connection's going haywire here. Thoughts on it, Sonny? Sorry, my connection's going, guys. If you guys can keep going.
I was amazed at Becky Lynch. I wasn't on board with Becky Lynch when I first started watching her because of her issues with Ric Flair and how she got her name the man and this and that and the other. But over a long period of time, I've come to admire her tenacity. And she is back with a vengeance. She made it clear she has an agenda. She made it clear that Morgan was on it. And it's really hard to go out and talk on an open mic because you don't get time to rehearse. They say this is what we want. Mm-hmm. They may even open-end it and say draw heat. And that's the end of it. That's all you get. Draw heat. Okay, well, I'm on. And out the door you go. And, you got to be convincing. You got to make people believe. And Becky did all that. So then Morgan has impressed me with her title run by a little bit, and the fact that she's controlling the outcomes like a champion does, as opposed to Jay Cargill when she was having her day with it. And but at this point in time, Becky Lynch is on a vengeance tour. So this is all to get revenge. So she's going to mop up the women's division in the WWE. She's going to own it. And hats off to her. Becky Lynch has been there a minute. So for her to come back this fully charged is impressive.
Mm-hmm. I love the returns. Becky Lynch hasn't been in the main event for quite a while. She's kind of been in that Intercontinental reign, had that thing with AJ Lee and stuff like that. So she's kind of been in that mid card for a while. So it was a breath of fresh air to see her return to the main event of the women's division. Amen. So I think that's a good spot for her. And much needed. They desperately needed something because we've lost Asuka, we lost Kyrie, Io's kind of been departed from since she lost at SummerSlam. Rhea's was traded from traded to SmackDown. So you really haven't had any of the women there. You're not going to put Maxine Dupree in that spot. You're not going to put Ivy Nyla in that spot. Lyra, we have no idea what her direction is. Bayley, we have no idea what her direction is. So to get Becky Lynch back in this role, it's a much-needed role and a role that doesn't feel overbearing. As for her promo, she destroyed Liv Morgan, as Brian said. I got to give credit where credit is due, and I'm very intrigued. Even when I heard her music, I was like, I was actually happy to see her. I'm like, thank God we got I was like, thank God we finally got something new in the women's division that can actually be fresh. And then to cap it off with Stephanie's return, and we know that Stephanie's promo work, and when they do the English thing and stuff like that, that's going to take some time or whatever the case may be until she gets it. To have Becky Lynch fill that void in it, right, to go back and forth with Liv Morgan, I think is pretty good. I think this is going to be awesome, and I'm glad at the potential between even Becky and Stephanie back here, and maybe if it's a triple threat. And obviously the Judgment Day is going to get involved. Maybe this is a 3-on-3 match before we actually get a title match with Sol Ruka joining them, and maybe Sol Ruka gets involved in this as well. Or maybe Sol Ruka branches off and faces Raquel for the Intercontinental title. Many ways to go here. But I'm just glad that there's actually intrigue back in the women's division. So happy that Becky Lynch is back, happy that Stephanie Vaquer is back, and we'll see what happens with that. Let's continue to move on. Femi obviously defeated Brock Lesnar. There seems to be mutual respect between him and Paul Heyman, but there is something else brewing there between Femi and Braun Breaker. We already seen Paul Heyman kind of be shaky towards Braun Breaker lately, especially ever since his loss to Seth Rollins at what was the pay-per-view? Clash in Paris, or was it? Or Night of Champions? I can't remember which one it was. Night of Champions, was it? I can't remember. But we've seen Paul Heyman be shaky towards Braun Breaker ever since then. He's praised Maxine Debris. He really hasn't been as friendly towards Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker's noticing that. Even with Oba Femi shaking Paul Heyman's hands backstage. And there seems to be an axe to grind between Braun, Paul Heyman, and Oba Femi. And it looks like they had that stare down when Oba Femi finished making his promo before Braun Breaker took on Joe Hendry. That would be a mega match.
Yes.
That is insane. What do you guys make of this potential matchup there? You can go ahead, Brian, on this one. Mm-hmm.
Right.
That was Brian.
Having Paul Heyman involved is the perfect addition for this story. It's only gonna make both guys better. It's only gonna give confidence to both guys. So I love that Paul Heyman is involved. But WWE, they need to be very careful with the booking of this feud, because these are two up and coming guys that WWE Unreal has labeled as the future. So typically, when you have a feud with two guys that are kind of like are supposed to be looked upon on that same level. I mean, at the end of the day, only one guy can win and only one guy can lose. But both guys still have to look strong in the end. The last thing that you want as an end result is, okay, one guy's up here, now another guy's down here. They have to be very careful how they book it, so both guys are still perceived as like future talent. Now, obviously, based upon the booking lately, it obviously seems like Oba Femi is being seen as having higher value than Braun Breaker, based on the booking that we've seen recently. But it is very easily to flip the switch and put Braun Breaker back in the spot that we have felt that he's deserved to be in for the longest time. I mean, just that match alone with Tozawa on Monday night. It wasn't Tozawa. It was I forget who it was. He was in the ring. Yeah, with Joe Hendry, which I feel bad for Joe Hendry in this case. Yeah. But like Braun Breaker squashed him in like 2 minutes. Great for Braun. It sucks for Joe Hendry, but that's probably the most dominant Braun Breaker has looked in a very long time. Again, they just need to be careful with how they book this, so both guys remain strong in the end.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sonny. Your thoughts?
Couple of thoughts I'd like to mention. If you collect wrestling action figures, buy your Oba Femi action figure now. It's going to go up 300% within the next year. It'll almost be unaffordable. Oba Femi's going to continue to climb straight to the top, and I spotted about 6 weeks ago when his rival was coming out against him at that time, the look on Paul Heyman's face, and I said to Joe Bentley, I said, Paul Heyman's going to manage Oba. And Joe said, he didn't think so. I said, watch and see. I said, he looked like he wanted to be with Oba more than Brock Lesnar at that moment. So when Oba was carrying on, and here we are. So I think it's a great union. I'm interested to see what Braun Breaker does with his involvement in it, if he lives with the outcome of this, and if they carry on. At one point, the past 2-3 weeks, Paul said he would never leave Braun Breaker, so maybe the two of them can work out their differences. What I want to see from Oba Femi, though, guys, is I want to see him continue to get into real match involvements. I want to see him climb his way up the ranks, literally, instead of being on so much of a rocket that everyone that's like jobbers of days gone by to him. I want to see some competition. I'd like to see an Oba Femi and Bronson Reed type match or something of that nature. A Oba Femi and the ring general type match. I mean, some solid matches of Oba as he conditions himself for what's to come next. And I hope Paul's able to get him those tight fights instead of these blown by the way fights. What wrestling messed up was they used to have a position called the jobber position, and that's what they wanted me to be. They thought was a forever jobber that was a forever fall guy. And I was still running the independents hard back then, and I said no. I said because when I leave y'all, I want to be able to roll on the independents and continue to tell my tale and my story. And they said, well, that's just not our plans. I said, well, then I'm not taking your offer. And I don't want them to continue to give Oba stooge matches. And to me, that's kind of what some of these matches are in building up his image. If he's going to be a tough guy, let's make him a tough guy and go with it. Stop messing around.
Yep. Go ahead, Lewis. Thoughts on this potential matchup?
I was sorry.
I'm ready for it. It needs to happen, especially with the position that Braun's in right now, where he's literally stuck in the. That's who the tag team champions are. Shows how important those titles are.
Little Caesars tag team titles.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Paul being paired with Oba, just because I feel like Oba's doing a great job speaking for himself and just being the powerhouse and just being the ruler. I mean, coming off just, finally beating Brock Lesnar and getting done with that, I don't think he needs a mouthpiece. Yes, Paul is amazing. Paul can make anything 10 times better. But is Oba really someone that needs it? I don't think so. I feel like Braun Breaker probably needs it. I feel like I'm not saying he's terrible at promos, but I feel like Paul is a good guy for his character that should be good at hyping him up and, kind of similar doing what he did for Brock, honestly. And I see...
Yep.
I don't know. I didn't like how he was basically already like, oh, I'm done with you guys. Like, oh, like, what vision or whatever. And it's like, you were a part of all this, and now that you don't deem them to be in that spot right now, you just kind of ditch them. And now it seems like they're pushing this whole Oba Paul narrative. So I'm ready for the match. I'm ready for the fight. I think it's going to be great. I think that should be a match. That should be a feud that goes on for a few pay-per-views. Whether it's like the first one, someone gets disqualified or they get counted out, or, it leads to one of your guys' favorite unsanctioned, or they're not responsible, or whatever the hell stipulation it is. It should keep going. I hope it doesn't just lead to another damn Hell in a Cell, but I think they should definitely have a good long feud, and hopefully they both come out great on both sides, and it leads to one of them, more likely Oba getting the title shot and even getting the title. But Braun could easily be like, Oba be Roman and Braun be his Seth, But there also needs to be a story built there, not just a stare down.
Yeah.
Yes, we're two powerhouses, but we got to make sure we're invested.
Not a Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman. Let this actually cook and be something.
It was great.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
To see it again, So.
No, I love it. I think it's a big money match. I think it's because I was kind of questioning, is Oba going to go for the title? And after the developments with LA Knight, I'm like, maybe not as yet. But there's something that Braun needs to do. There's been reports that he's also been frustrated. Him and Dom both frustrated. There's been reports of that, and he doesn't like the booking, which I completely understand. At least if you're going to use him, give him something that he can sink his teeth into, develop his character, develop his mean streak, something. A guy like Oba Femi, who I don't think is going to lose right now, I think there's a way that you can book them and both book them strong where they don't look bad, where Braun doesn't come out bad, but he actually puts up probably the best fight to Oba Femi and actually gives some distinction there. between those two. But I think it's going to be a big money match. I can't wait to see what happens with it. I'm on board for it. WWE's cooking on this Raw. Let's keep moving on to the Intercontinental title picture. It looks like Dominic Mysterio is actually getting serious again. A guy that was reported being frustrated as well, looking to target his Intercontinental title. It looks like. Going up against Chad Gable and Penta on Monday Night Raw with JD McDonough. What do we think about this Intercontinental picture here? Dominic Mysterio is still the AAA champion. It looks like he's going to face El Grande Americano at, I believe it's Triple Mania, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Triple Mania. So I think that's going to happen. And what do you guys just make of Dominic Mysterio actually turning the page off the Danhausen thing? It looks like, hopefully, thank God, and challenging and looking to get back in the title picture, a title that he lost against Penta.
I just don't understand. Again, and I brought this up on Wrestling Spotlight last week. I brought it up on last week's episode of Ring Takes. I don't understand why there isn't any continuity with his booking in AAA, but yet with Chad Gable, that continuity is there. You clearly saw when Chad Gable won the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam. Obviously, we got that great reaction. You had his family in the ring, but the reason why you got that great reaction was because of how powerful that redemption story really was. The fact that he lost his mask and how he beforehand when he had the mask on, he was shitting on the Lucha Libre tradition and history, and then he loses his mask and then he gains a different perspective, and now he wants to redeem himself. He wants to accomplish his goal of winning the Intercontinental Championship. That was all continuity that started in AAA. Now you look at Dominic Mysterio in AAA. He's the top heel. He's a god over there. I mean, the people in Mexico, they view him as a top heel over there. Why is it so hard to just translate that onto WWE main TV? I mean, for God's sake, he comes out with the AAA Mega Championship, their main title, every single week on Monday Night Raw. So, to the casual viewer, you're seeing this guy wearing this title belt, that he's the top guy over here, but then yet you see his booking and he's not even booked anything like the top guy in AAA. And I can only hope that they just take a lesson from what just happened with Chad Gable and apply it to Dominic Mysterio, because then that's when you'll get the best the best of Dom Mysterio as both a character and in ring. I just don't see why they don't do the same as they did for Chad Gable.
Thoughts, Sonny?
Dom Mysterio is great, and I think he's going to be there for a long while. I think he's the face of the future in wrestling. I wish they would stop picking on him, and then he's another wrestler who I'd like to see really find his lane and continue to move forward gracefully over time. He's World Heavyweight Championship material, in my opinion. They just need to quit stereotyping him as being a player in the Judgment Day. And Brian, this is when I think the Judgment Day, a example of the Judgment Day staying together too long. They have been together so long now that they are weakening what they've done up to now, in my opinion. You can't stay together as a group too long in this business. Ric Flair and the Horsemen almost went through that, and what made Flair great, though, was he would continue to have the 45-minute and hour fights on his own without the Horsemen. So I'm interested in seeing what Dom can do week to week now. Let's let him defend his title against all-comers or something in an open title defense match like Sami Zayn did as a U.S. champion. Let's see if he's ready to move up and get serious about his craft. And if he is, great. Let's give him that role and stop messing around with him.
Yep. Thoughts, Lewis?
I don't know, man. With Dom, it's like, again, you had super mega heat, and he's just falling off a cliff. And I think right now he's not even doing any favors to AAA. It's like just because of the booking and the feuds that he's been in. So, I mean, yeah, it's great that he's going back after the IC title. Is he really going to win it? No. I mean, he was a double champion at one point. Um, it could boost his credibility if we actually were to get the title back. But at the same time, I don't want to see Chad lose his title so quick. I
Yep.
don't need a Matt Cardona situation. He definitely deserve. I mean, look at the run that Penta had. I feel like you can easily do that with Chad, and just like feed him, plenty of people. Again, you got Rusev, you got Dom right now, you got JD,
You
Ethan
got Big
Page,
Cass.
Cass, you got Penta. You got a lot of people there that are going to want to go after him, and he's going to put on great matches with them. So again, I mean, I just hope. I don't know. I don't know where Dom really goes right now. Again, I don't see him getting the title. Yes, he has a AAA championship, but it doesn't really mean anything right now. He's not even defending it on WWE TV, unlike where you got Phoenix over there on SmackDown defending his cruiserweight title and stuff. It's like, why isn't Dom,
Yep.
defending his, giving him more matches or giving him other feuds, And it's just like, I feel like that whole title and significance has been been put on the back burner. So I don't know. We'll see if this will get the crowd going with him. I feel like the crowd still loves to boo him, but he needs more. He needs more to get back into that heat that he had, and it sucks that it only came, when he was working with Liv. But it's like I feel, and this is what I've been saying. The Judgment Day is a female group right now, with Dom and JD. They're really not needed.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, my thing is that they kind of just derailed his booking and kind of put everything on standstill because Liv was hurt multiple times.
Yeah.
And it's like, you guys could have kept building this guy. He had both championships. He was building himself up. I don't even think even though he's a main eventer in AAA, I would love to see him actually defend the title a little bit more, being a little bit more heated fuse. It looks like something's going to happen with El Grande Americano, as we talked about. But he's just a guy that's a prisoner of what's above him, right? Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. Like, you're not gonna be in the main event feud at this point in time with that on the card. It's just the pecking order. You're not gonna be in those serious main event roles. I know people are kind of penciling him and want him to win Money in the Bank to kind of push him up. But I'm like, can he win Money in the Bank and still have the Judgment Day running around him? Can he still be attached to Liv Morgan? Like, what is the end game with that? And I know they're going to be building him up over the next month because of AAA's main event next month with Worlds Collide. WWE's heading to Mexico, I believe the second or third week in September, September 14th. Where they announced, I want to get this out of the way, they announced that that tournament to challenge Roman Reigns on that Monday Night Raw, Monday, September 14th. In Mexico, so that's going to be a pretty big deal with competitors from Raw, SmackDown, and AAA, the Luchadors at least, trying to compete to be a number one contendership, which I think is great, to give a little showcase to AAA and stuff like that. But as for Dom, I just don't know what they're going to do with him because he's just stuck in the spot. And at the end of the day, he's still cursed. The curse has not been broken. So
Well, apparently it doesn't work because Liv didn't lose, so
I mean, it doesn't work. It doesn't. She's all right. I don't know, but hope.
Yeah, and I just want to say, as far as that title match in September with Roman Reigns goes, only two guys in my mind, off the top of my head, should get that spot. Either you go Penta, or you go El Grande Americano, Ludwig Kaiser. One of them or the other.
yes.
Or whoever you decide between those two, it'll make for a good match.
So you don't want Mr. Iguana.
Of course we do.
No, not in that spot.
I'm just checking the temperature of the room. We're just checking the temperature of the room. But I think that tournament's going to be a great thing with the. I think the tournament's going to be a great thing with the Luchadors, and really showcasing AAA because I think AAA has been doing a very good job. Their PLEs and pay-per-views and stuff like that. I love watching it on YouTube. And I think they're doing some great things down there, just continuing to build. I just wish the continuity was a little bit better, as we've been talking about, where Dominic can be taken seriously, Chad Gable was taken seriously. I hope other people like Ray Phoenix continue to be taken seriously as they make that crossover and jump. and whatever tag teams they have down there could be taken seriously as well if they're going to make the jump to the main roster. As the Viking Raiders, they're the AAA tag team champions, they're right. So I hope they continue to showcase those guys as well on SmackDown. So definitely a lot of potential there with AAA. Let's keep moving on to the last segment of the night, a street fight between Jacob Fatu and Royce Keys. These guys have a long history together. We're wrestling in California. Royce Keys has kind of been talking about having Jacob Fatu break out and be on his own. You don't have to do this in XYZ, and Jacob's being loyal to the cause with the bloodline and sticking close to family. But this was a hellacious street fight. I think it's one of the better ones they've had on TV. This is probably Royce Keys' best performance on the main roster, and really, even in a loss, really put something there. It showed me something there. I don't know if he's going to be taken off TV for a while or whatever case is going to come of this. But I love the fact of this match. I think it still made Jacob look strong. I think it made Royce, even in defeat, look strong as well. But what do you guys make of this matchup? And at the end, Roman Reigns kind of giving the stamp of approval of the beatdown on Royce Keys.
This was great business all around. This is a situation where both guys are gonna end up in a better place in the long run. So my god brother William, he texted me right after this segment occurred, and he asked me like, bro, do you think that Jacob Fatu being in the bloodline, has hurt him or limited him? I said absolutely not. And this final segment kind of proves it. I mean, Jacob looks a hell of a lot more vicious. It looks like only Roman Reigns can kind of control him. Like I said, what he did to Royce Keys only makes him look even more dominant as that monster. And Royce Keys, now people have a reason to be, I guess, sympathetic towards him because he got beaten down in the way that he did. This is going to make the WWE audience feel more towards him, because eventually when he does come back, which I'm assuming is probably going to be like in a month or so, they definitely need to play that attack up. But when he eventually does come back, I mean, the crowd, I think the crowd's going to be behind him a lot more as a result of it. So this was a great piece of business. You showed the viciousness of Jacob while also showing the vulnerability of Royce Keys, which the fans will cling on to. So yeah, this was great.
Thoughts, Sonny, on Royce Keys and Jacob Fatu?
Jacob Fatu is a tremendous competitor, and I'm liking the storyline with him. He seems to be slowing down a bit in the ring to the point that he's able to do more moves now in more sequences than he was when he first came to WWE. He's taken his energy and focusing it better in his conflicts. But the street fight matches are his thing. And by day, it was Jimmy Bang, the boy from New York City, who did the street match, lights out thing. And it's always been a draw. So I'd like to see more of that in WWE, and them continue to work different style matches rather than just the same old.
Yep, that's for sure. It was a nice treat to see Jacob Fatu in the main event. Thoughts on this match, Lewis?
I thought it was great, hard hitting, two big dudes, two big monsters. They had great chemistry in the ring. Had a bunch of great spots. I did like the touch of Roman coming out and just kind of finish him, take him out. Even though he already was taken out, but I like the story of at first I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about Jacob being in the bloodline and kind of just being controlled by Roman, but it seems to be working his character very well, and I still find it hilarious that the Usos think they can tell him what to do. He's like, I don't listen to you guys, I listen to Roman. He's like, that's who I listen to. You guys can't tell me nothing. So yeah, like you said, Dan, I think it's great to see Jacob in a main event spot. Shows what he can do. He's not just a catchphrase and dancing or whatever. He says what he is.
Yada mean?
Yeah, yada mean. That was terrible. But yeah, I thought overall great match, and I think we should see. I don't know. This is my thing with Jacob. It's with this, is this just gonna be another him getting fed up with Roman? Is he gonna stick to Roman and Roman kind of tosses him aside? I don't know where they're gonna go with this, this new iteration of the Bloodline. Even though it's the same players, but it's like, what is the overall goal and story? And I think that's where I'm curious to see. And hopefully, Jacob comes out looking stronger than ever, but we'll see.
Yeah, I really liked this match. I thought it was awesome to get Jacob in the main event. We already know what he can do, but I was more impressed by Royce Keys. I know we saw him as Powerhouse Hobbs in AEW and stuff like that.
Better name.
But this was something that really gave him something that he could sink his teeth into. Even though it came in a loss, he did some impressive things. Even on at SummerSlam, even though he had that trouble with the second rope fall away power slam to Jimmy there with the second rope. That second rope was messed up. But the fact that he can match Jacob Fatu and have some great offense against him, I really thought this was the best showing for him in really introducing him to the main roster, because I feel like it's kind of been slow burn. He's had a couple matches on SmackDown, but this was something that was actually impactful, and I'm just glad that he really got to showcase himself, even in the loss. He had the blood popping up at the end and stuff like that. I thought it was just a great look, even in defeat for him. And as for Roman, I think I questioned if there was going to be any consequences for the Usos and Jacob Fatu. And it looks like he's kind of teetering towards that, but not really. But then to come out and give the stamp of approval to Jacob, it's like that evil part of Roman is still there, because that was a hellacious beatdown. He didn't come out to stop Jacob Fatu. He came out to give the nod of approval. So I'm very interested to see what the story development of that is, and what they go doing forward. It makes Jacob look strong. I hope they keep Royce Keys. Don't bring him back next week. If he comes back next week, let me just say this. Have him come back, ribs taped, a limp, something. Don't just have him come back and he's just regular. And like sell the beat down if he's not going to be off TV for multiple weeks or whatever the case may be. But I just think it was a good look for everybody involved. And I think I've mentioned here before, I haven't watched Raw for the past month. I've been skimming it and stuff like that because the booking has been terrible. This has been one of the better Raws in a while. Yeah. Like this from start to finish, there was no low points. Like everything hit for me at least. And I really enjoyed this week's show, and I thought it was great, and I thought it was impactful, and actually got some storylines developing from it. So I think the fact that we actually got that was a great show for me. It wasn't the best Raw of all time, but it was a very good Raw in terms of doing what these weekly shows should be doing. Building, creating stories, tying the stories together, and creating a pathway to the next main event. So I'm glad for that. Raw hit it out the park this week for me. And I think SummerSlam was pretty good as well. So we wrapped it up here, covering SummerSlam and Raw. We'll be picking it up next week. We'll see what happens with the shows coming on next week. You can catch Sonny Cain on Wrestling Spotlight with Gerald Bentley. Those guys are doing great things over there, so check that out on YouTube and I forgot the name of it. Sorry. All their platforms on Twitter, Instagram with Gerald Bentley, Sonny the Man Eagle Cain. Catch those guys. I believe they're doing a SummerSlam recap tomorrow with the main event Mama, so check that out once that's up. Those guys are doing great work over there. Thank you again, Sonny, for joining us. It's been a great show. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll pick it up next week. We'll see what happens with the fallout from SmackDown now and Raw. So we'll be talking about that next week. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, remember to always kick out on 2. Until next time.